25 at 6 p.m. We're in City Hall in the John Metz Community Wing. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a short moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. If you haven't already, please silence your devices. And I'm sorry, Allison, please roll.
Of course. Mayor Norris?
Here.
Vice Mayor Palmieri? Present. Councilmember Gambaro?
Here.
Councilmember Miller?
Here.
Member Sullivan?
Here.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
members are present.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll start with public participation. It's limited to 30 minutes. Please refrain from any incendiary or defamatory comments. With that being said, please, if you have any public. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Sorry, I got to bring it way down.
State your name for the record, please.
Heather Davis,
Yes, ma'am.
Roddy Lane. I'm not an engineer or a developer. I am a homeowner, a taxpayer, and a wife watching her family's property and peace of mind get washed away, literally. For over 2 years, my husband has submitted evidence, attended meetings, and followed your process. And while the city has issued awards for outreach, not one real solution has reached our front door. What did reach us this week, though, was a letter saying we're now responsible for fixing a collapsed culvert that failed after the city overloaded the drainage system around our home. It's offensive and wrong. You can't create the conditions for failure, ignore the consequences, and shift the blame back on the resident. I ask this council to do what staff hasn't, take responsibility, fix what was broken under your watch, and show that transparency, accountability, and integrity still means something at the City Hall. Thank you. And I will be leaving early today. I have to go empty the pods that are home from the flooding that we have. So I will continue to listen, but thank you for taking the time to listen to me.
Yes, ma'am. Jean.
Good evening, Jeannie. It's painful to see somebody come up here for 2 years and petition for what they're on their property. Just when they think that they're going to get a solution brought to their problem, they get hit with a 365-day fix-it ticket from the city that may have been caused by the city. I'm also concerned about issues like the cell phone towers getting passed under the nose of the citizens without discussion. And these cell phone towers are over the height requirement for that property. The zoning for 50 feet, those towers are 150 feet. The park and rec impact fees are not based on facts. They're outdated data and 2035 population. An economy that down, houses are not selling. Transportation impact fees are also based on outdated data and projected population. It is not current what's going on. We have sellers markets, we have buyers market. It's neither market. Right now it's cash market. It's for the elite who can afford to buy. It's for the wolves that are standing by to snatch these properties because people can't afford the interest rates, their monthlies. We're being cashed out, we're being taxed out of the love for Palm Coast. We need solutions. Has anyone considered one-bedroom houses, two-bedroom houses for these people, the children that are leaving high school, for displaced families, for the college students, rather than bring an industry that's going to pay us more money for income down the road, give us homes that they can now. Based on the mortgage rule, 28% of $15 an hour is.
My name is Dennis Sokola. I live in the F section of Palm Coast. This is to the mayor and the council about the VRBO in residential areas. I've been woken up since March at least 24 times. I've had to call the sheriff's office 11 times, and this does nothing for my quality of life or my health or for my property value. The only winners in this are the property owners, the large corporations that fund them, and their investors. The kicker to all this is this property that I've been complaining about still has no license, okay? And Barbara Grossman found that out because I went and complained. Otherwise, there'd be no way of knowing that it was even a VRBO. And then there is no way of knowing when the sheriff is called on a VRBO. A person has to complain to code enforcement, then code enforcement has to get in touch with the sheriff's office, and then something gets done. But nothing has been done yet because they still don't have a license. Okay, they put in for it, but it's not finished yet. Now, the other thing is residents have to get permits for everything. Okay, so this person didn't get a permit. If you do something on your house and you don't have a permit, you get fined. If you go fishing without a license, you get fined. If you drive without a license, you get fined. This person should be fined. These corporations and business owners are profiting on one property, okay, $230,000 a year. You're charging them $375 for a permit and $75 for an inspection. It's ridiculous. You're not getting your money's worth. When they get fined, it's got to be heavy, because they're not paying any attention to it, because these people wouldn't even register this because they have no concern about the law. That's the way their tenants are acting also. They have no concept of a neighborhood. I've been woken up from 11:30 at night till 3:30 in the morning. And most of the times I ran out and I told them to be quiet, and sometimes they did. 11 times they didn't. I had to call the sheriff. Now, when I put my head on my pillow at night, I want to go to sleep. I don't want to get woken up. It's ruining my life. I'm going to wind up selling my house. It's ridiculous. There has to be something that can be done. These people have to be fined heavy so that they tell their tenants not to act like jerks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Carol Stoughton, Belterre section of Parkview. I don't know if you on the council have read the Observer of all the delinquent taxes that are owed taxes when they could be going towards running the city. Then from what I read in the paper, we're hiring Mark Stolbridge, nothing against him, but I don't even know if his being here is approved by the Flagler County budget. Now, the acting city manager, who makes around 230 grand, she needs him, and he's gonna go now, from what I hear, and she did this on her own. The mayor wasn't even aware of it. And she went and contacted the sheriff to get him in here, which is, I think, a disgrace. However, I think what we need is to go into the salaries here from the acting city manager down to the Department of Technology, Human Services, Deputy Director of Development, Finance Director. I added all that up. That is $1,122,000 a year to run this city, and they all have They all have secretaries, they all have acting people doing their work for them. I think Dodge should come into the city, and I see we're going to have auditors finally, which should have been done a year ago. This is a sin. We can save money, so what do? They go and charge us for billing on our water bills. Why didn't they go and look for another company before they put more burden on a taxpayer for $2, $3, or $4 to submit their check or use their credit card? And guess what? When I get my bill and I pay direct to them, there's an envelope in there, and they could save money with that envelope because I don't have to send it in. I pay it out of my checking account. There's a lot of changes should be made here. And Mayor, I have total and full confidence in you, and I don't have confidence in none of the men who that man over there voted, well, he put on his show, and he received over $17,000 from developers. Thank you very much. We know who you are, and you know who you are.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Gary Bunton, new Palm Coast resident. Mayor Norris, Vice Mayor Pontieri, members of the council and staff. I have a lot of things. I've been able to watch the meetings moving here from Maryland. I've been able to kind of keep the last year and a half with things going on here. The where what I the city manager debacle. It's I was watching a Bravo episode of the council members of Palm Coast. I don't know. I know that there's reports that the city spent about $17,000 in the search, and I believe at the, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vice Mayor Pontieri raised concerns towards the end of the process, and what they were regarding, did the candidates have enough? And I would think that would be something that would be kind of asked earlier on in the process. You know, if that was a concern, because we got down to 2 candidates, and there was, and I know one of the council members was not present, and there was maybe some issues, communication and so forth, and I honestly was confused and at the end of the entire process. I would hope that as a council, and I know a lot of you up here are retired military or served in the military, and I served this country for nearly 35 years. I've been to numerous exercises, and after every single one, we would get together. How can we improve something? Where did we go wrong? We don't need to distract. We need to be a cohesive unit. So my question is, does the city have a clear and concise procedure for voting on the installation of a city manager, either majority vote or consensus? All members must agree. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. Maurice Berry, I reside in our section. Currently, I'm building during that process, I see a code enforcement violation regarding the exterior colors. That ordinance under review. I believe the next read is going to happen on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. I attended this because I might not be able to attend that first read. However, I will look at the online stream of it. violation, I did submit a letter to the mayor that has been, I believe, forwarded on to and to the enforcement offices, excuse me, as well. The thing that I have with the concern with the colors, talked with the code enforcement office about is the values. I think some of them are still restrictive. The color choices that I have, I guess mine received a complaint and it's still under construction, so it's not even finished. My color is a blue tone, and I made the point that blue isn't considered an earth tone. It's a blue, a teal undertone. It's almost somewhat a aquamarine to beach color. However, that's not considered an earth tone, and the light reflective value of my paint color choice is 1 point higher than the 25 required value for earth tone. So I'm asking that that be considered as a update to the light reflective value and the earth tones on that color palette. And then again, with the trim colors and everything else, I know that one of the things on the table was just remove the restrictions altogether. If that's not the route that's going to be taken, then I just ask that there be a little bit more leniency when individuals are choosing their home. This is my first home. I served close to 21 years in the Air Force. I've been to various combat zones. This is the first home my family and I are building. This is basically like a dream for us. We've been saving for this our whole lives. I'm actually born and raised in Florida, and we decided on Palm Coast as our place where we're going to establish roots, and we hit this obstacle of we can't paint our home the color that we desire. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to whatever comes from this.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Stone.
How are we doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to go back to when the council members, other than Teresa, passed the okay for the raise hike. City has never done an implementation or study from year to year. As Teresa well stated in that meeting, there was no corrections for 5-6 years. So why should the people suffer on the water rates? It's crazy. And who do you blame? Do you blame the previous city council? Possibly. Do you blame the city managers, two for them? Possibly. Do you blame the director of the water department? Most likely. Do you blame the city staff manager? Most likely. There's no control in this city. None. Everyone's complaining that their electric bill is lower than the water bill. It's crazy. And I'm going to go to the statement that I last time. We had 2 council members that have taken money for their campaign. They're accepting money from developers, small mom and pop shops. One councilman is well over $1,000. That's so wrong. And these same people are voting developers to come in. And I know some of you read the, there are people that are wanting to start a class action suit against the city. Follow the steps, and it's going to get real nasty and real bad. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing no one come forward, we'll bring it back to the city manager on the Airbnb. Did anyone follow up with that gentleman concerning his issues?
Yes, we've reached out to him. He's spoken with Ms. Barbara Grossman as well as Mr. Jason DiLorenzo, and I believe Commander Woodward as well on the noise issues.
Has any action been taken?
I believe yes, for violations through.
And you got the email from Mr. Maurice about his house colors?
Yes, and that house submitted a color material sheet, which was Krypton Sherwin-Williams, which is an LRV of 52, which is light. So it would have been approved, and it was approved from zoning on February the 3rd of 2025, but the house is not painted this color, Krypton Sherwin-Williams. So that is why he's been issued a code violation.
Okay, sir, you need to talk to whoever's building your home and try to figure that out, okay? If they submitted a specific color and that's not the color they painted the house, that would be an issue you need to figure out with the builder. Anything else? You got anything else, City Manager?
I have information about the cell phone tower. Just 1 second. Okay, so the cell phone tower that's going to be located at Fire Station 22, per your Land Development Code, Section 4.20.08C.8 requires a minimum setbacks of 150 feet from any residentially zoned or platted property. This tower is actually 310.18 feet to the closest residential unit, and then that's to the east, and then to the west, it's 340 feet, 0.19 to the next residential lot line. And then it is 219 feet, so to the MPD, which is the golf course. So it meets all the required setbacks on the where it's located at Fire Station 22. And then additionally, there was discussion about the height requirement. And regarding the height, which is allowed, the code allows a maximum height all zoning districts to 150 feet. And in the Palm Coast Parkway overlay zone, the maximum height permitted within the Palm Coast overlay zone is 50 feet, inclusive of all appurtenances except telecommunication facilities. So it is held in the zoning that it's meeting the current setbacks and the height per our land development.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Anything from the council members?
Nothing from me.
Nothing from you, Vice Mayor? Okay, can we get consensus to move up? Because we got a bunch of people sitting here as far as the audit services. Does anyone have any problem with them moving forward in the agenda? And let's go ahead and take care of that first. Okay, City Manager, if you can cue it up as far as presentation number 2, top 2 ranked firms for auditing services.
Yes, our current contract with our external auditors has expired, and so we have gone out to bid for new services, and we've brought in the 2 highest ranking firms to give you presentations. As a reminder, City Council, that your scores are all due by Monday, so anybody who has not completed their final evaluation scores, those are due on Friday. Helena, Director of Financial Services, if you wanted to add any additional information.
Good evening, your city. We're going to get started with representatives from James Moore & Company. We'll have Webb Shepard and Brendan McTrick come up to do their presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to present our proposal today. It's truly an honor to serve as your independent honors. I'm privileged to continue in this role. So, quick introduction to your audit team here. I'm Webb Shepard. I'm a partner in the company, and I'm the lead partner on your engagement. James Halloran and Zach Shalafor would have loved to have been here, but they're at a conference, sharpening the saw, we like to say, some CPE credits. They're at the American Institute of CPE. So they couldn't be here, but they would love to be here. Brendan McKittrick is here next to me. He's our local Certified Information Systems Auditor, CISA. He's also a CPA and our IT audit director. Katie Walker is here. She's our single audit director, so she helps stay in compliance with all of the federal and state. We're really lucky to have her in that role. We have Josh Van Zant here. He's our senior manager on your engagement, also known as Audit Ringmaster. Right, Josh? He keeps all the balls in the air, juggling lots of different ones at times. We also have Nick Merkling. He's an audit supervisor with us, and he's a Palm Coast resident, so he's here, and he works in your engagement as well. We're all government specialists, so I feel confident saying you have the A-team here at your service. A little bit about us. We have offices in Daytona Beach, DeLand, Gainesville, Ocala, and Tallahassee. We have over 300 employees firm-wide, over 50 on our government services team. Our government segment is actually the largest in the firm. We are a top 200 accounting firm. We're number 116, the most recent poll for 2024. That's from Inside Public Accounting. They do those numbers. So we might make 100 in the next few years. We don't know. Top 100 maybe? We're not really pushing for that. It's just a happenstance. So we have heavy involvement in governmental professional associations in the area and nationwide. I won't bore you with the list here, but we actually like this stuff, so if you want to dive into the details or have any questions, we're happy to go as deep as you'd like to. We have had 16 triennial peer reviews, so that means every 3 years we get a peer review from another CPA firm that's totally independent of us, and they audit our audits effectively. We've had 0 comments or recommendations for improvement in all 16 of those, and we're very proud of that fact. We do extensive continuing professional education, lots of dad jokes. Brendan's really good at those. If you ever watch them, we like. No charge for the dad jokes, no charge. We have the ACFR, we have a boatload of ACFR experience, and ACFR is the financial statements that you all prepare. Not all cities and counties even do that, but you all do that. It's your annual comprehensive financial report. We do have 2 GFOA, and GFOA stands for Government Finance Officers Association. We have 2 of those ACFR Special Review Committee members in our. So what they do is they get from different cities, usually from different states, and they take them home with them and use them for nighttime reading. That's a joke. But what they do is they review those and they provide feedback and recommendations for improvement. And if they read them at night, they probably go to sleep early. But we're glad to have those there because they are an integral part of the team here. So no GMCO audited ACFRs ever did not receive a certificate of excellence, and we're proud of that. So not that you all need help because you have an awesome team. If you do need to help, or if we find anything, we try to rectify it before it gets to that level, so they have, an issue and won't get you that certificate. We do have an extensive Florida client base. We audit 14 counties, 50 municipalities, and 50 plus special districts. We absolutely try to maximize technology as much as we can to streamline and make the audit efficient for both your staff and for ours. We like to be on the cutting edge of software, maybe not the bleeding edge. Of course, we have these are just a few governments that we serve in this area. You're probably familiar with all these, so we're local. And I'm going to hand it over to Brendan to talk about the audit approach.
Thanks, Webb. So as you can see here with the audit approach, it really kind of highlights our team pillars from a government perspective, how we really want to be that cooperative partner with you all through this audit, and really highlighting the communication piece of it. So communicating with, not only with you, but with staff early and often, whether that be planning, interim, or the field work, and even outside of that too. Really want to be that no surprises or anti-gotcha firm. So obviously if we do find issues, we're coming to you early to identify those, really talk through the items, and really taking a true risk-based audit approach. So as we do our planning procedures, we're developing a risk assessment and really designing procedures to address those risks. So we're not testing just for testing's sake, right? We're trying to address those risks as part of our audit. And again, taking that team concept, Webb mentioned, we do have a dedicated government team, and obviously he's highlighted who those team members would be, but again, that concept with you all throughout the audit, and then again, highlighting the active communication. This next slide, I'll kind of dive into that. So our commitment to you know, Palm Coast City, we want to highlight that communication plan. Obviously, the communication planning and interim, ongoing status calls with staff throughout the audit, and then the one-on-one conferences that we have with you all, the opportunity to ask us more detailed questions and have a better setting. Availability of firm and staff, so obviously giving you all the VIP scheduling that you're used to. Again, working with the deadlines that you have set, so we're making sure that we're hitting those deadlines and deliverables. And obviously any informal abilities to any conferences you all may attend that we're happy to reconnect and kind of talk through anything that you want to talk to. Continuity, really the best. Worked with the city for a number of years now, so that institutional knowledge. And if there's any cause for concern as far as familiarity, we do have the ability to rotate partners, if you want to kick Webb off the audit engagement. That being said, last year was my first year as part of the audit engagement, so I was kind of a fresh set of eyes when it comes to the audit for the city. We regularly do that as well, so I'm making sure we've got different perspectives as part of the audit goes. In regards to stability of the firm, obviously we again worked with you all for over 10 years now, so we do have that proven track record. We are happy to celebrate our 60-year anniversary last year in 2024, and we are independent and planning on staying that way. I know whether or not you're following public accounting, that's not always the case with a lot of firms out there. There's a lot of different mergers and acquisitions and private equity activity, but we're here to stay and we're proud of that fact. And we like to have fun too. Obviously you saw the formal slide, but this is, again, the team, but in more kind of a more informal setting. So with that, I'll stop. And if you all have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those too.
Thank you, Brendan, Mr. and Webb. Any questions from the council?
I don't have any questions. It's been a pleasure working with you both. Do you anticipate the same team if you were to be contracted for again following through, or are there any other eyes to speak that would be putting eyes on our numbers?
We anticipate the same team, but of course we can rotate if that's your preference. We can rotate at any time if you would like us to. Absolutely.
Okay.
Like Brendan said, he'll happily kick me off. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions for the council? Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, good to see you. This council passed a resolution, to go after efficiencies, and what the governor has initiated within our state with regards to DOGE. Are you guys looking at DOGE mechanisms for efficiency as part of the audit process, or what are you guys seeing as this is moving forward? The state council has decided to look at this through a resolution that we passed.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and one I think a lot of people are still trying to get their hands around. We have started doing some more work on the state level in Tallahassee, so we're having more of those conversations too to see what that looks like. With that, we're also looking at areas for, maybe not specifically on the audit area, we're always looking at technology to improve our audit efficiency like any other firm, but there are other opportunities out there, and we've got some pretty interesting things that we're working on to potentially come at from a cost savings. There's a firm that we're talking to that looks at phone bills, usage of phone bills and what tax on and things like that, not just for profit governmental entities. So an active conversation we're having to see what direction we can go, and then again trying to gather that information from Tallahassee to see what they're looking at as well.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's a priority for this council, for sure going forward, and we look forward to, whoever elected, look forward to seeing how we can integrate those against our own policies and requirements from the state. So.
Yeah, no, I don't have any reason to change the way I rated it in the audit.
All right, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Next up.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have representatives from Malden Jenkins. We have tonight Wade Sansbury, Daniel Anderson, and Garrett Merlot. Merlot.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening. Mayor, council members, thank you so much for allowing us to be here with you all tonight and for allowing us to present some highlights on our overall proposal. My name is Wade Sansbury. I'm a partner with Malden & Jenkins. I am the partner in charge of our Bradenton and Sarasota offices, as well as the firm practice leader for our governmental practice here in Florida. I have almost years of experience all with Malden & Jenkins. I serve only governmental entities throughout the state as well as throughout the Southeast. I have a couple of introduce themselves.
Good evening. Real quickly, my name is Daniel Anderson. I'm also a partner with Malden & Jenkins. Like Wade, I serve strictly governmental entities here in the state of Florida and would be an additional resource partner and a fieldwork partner for the city's audit should we be selected.
Good evening, members of the council. I'm Garrett Marlowe. I'm a senior manager with Malden & Jenkins. I have over 8 years of experience, all with Malden & Jenkins, and I spend 100% of my time working on governmental entities, and I'd be the one responsible for the day-to-day audit process with the city.
Thank you, sir. Guys. And then we have two individuals that could not be here tonight. Trey Scott, he would be an additional technical resource partner for the firm, as well as Adam Fraley. He would be our quality control review partner on your engagement each year. This is just some high-level M&J by the numbers, if you will. We are a top 100 annually for many, many years. We do have a 100-year history of serving clients here in the Southeast. We were established in 1918, so we've been around for a very long time. We do currently serve well over 700 governments here in the Southeast, and that is a current number, not past or not, but that is a current listing number. We do have about 18 governmental partners, such as myself, that serve only governmental entities. We do have an overall team of about 170 staff members that have current experience that are dedicated to serving the governmental industry. What's not listed, we are also very well nationally known. Something I'm very proud of is obviously the governmental the GASB, the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, is the body that oversees all governments across the United States. And they elected one of our, Joel Black, several years back to be the GASB chairman. Joel and I actually made a partner together with the firm back in 2005, so very proud of that fact that that entity select someone from our firm. Additionally, some additional numbers here. We do have about 535 total personnel with the firm. That represents about 77 partners. We do serve about 180 municipalities, such as Palm Coast. We are very familiar with the GFOA program. We have quite a lot of clients that participate in that program. We, too, have never had anyone that wanted to get the certificate that did not reach that. Here's just another high-level look at the team. A couple other individuals that we have listed here, Jameson Miller and Brandon Smith, are both IT experts that would be a part of the but again, the higher-level folks, the folks like myself with the multiple years of experience, we're all here. And we take a lot of pride in bringing that experience to the field. You know, if I've got 30 years of experience and I'm not out here on a day-to-day basis or available to you all, then what good is that 30 years? So we make a point to do that for each and every engagement. This slide is a listing of a little bit of current sample clientele that we currently serve. To the left is just some of our Florida clients. Some of those you should recognize, some of those are pretty close by. The right side is just some other larger governments that we also serve here in the Southeast, some very notable names: City of Atlanta, Savannah, the Atlanta Airport. Additionally, we've got 3 counties listed here. Those were some special surtax audits that we did for them as part of our advisory group practice. Additionally, we do a lot of single audits throughout the region. We serve about 300 receive federal funds each and every year. Last year, that totaled about $5.3 billion in federal awards that we were part of those annual audits. And that does not include any of the state funds that we also audit. Additionally, as this city grows and as your needs may change, you may need to go to the bond and debt market. We have a tremendous amount of experience serving that market as well. We've got numerous clients that annually have to go out to the bond market, and we help do anything and everything that their bond counsel needs. So we've got a lot of experience there if you all were to ever need that. Trent, give this back to Daniel.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our audit approach. It certainly, should we be selected, we would be new auditors to the city. A lot of folks think change is a four-letter word. So we have tremendous experience with client transitions, over 700 client transitions over the last 25 years. What does that process look like? It really would start with early communication with the predecessor auditor to look at their work papers, see the type of information that you're providing them, the type of testing that they're performing. We'd then schedule an on-site visit to come out and meet with your team. Would be new auditors to you, but you're not new to the audit process. Already a tremendous year-end close process that you have. You've been through. We really look at what that year-end process looks like for you, what your prior experiences are with your audit, communication preferences are, et cetera. And then we're going to tailor our requests based on the information that we learn. We don't want you to have to recreate the wheel as part of the audit process. We will adapt to the things that you're already doing and perform our procedures and design our procedures accordingly. We do have built-in extra hours for our team in the first year. There is some, familiarity gathering that we would have in that first year audit process. We like to make those extra hours be on our part and not on your team's part. Some of the key things that we like to think that helps to a successful transition, as Wade mentioned, we like to bring our experience to the field. That process of learning and understanding systems and development is done by our managers and our partners because we are the ones with the most experience. We are the ones that speak the most language similar to your team. We're not sending younger staff out with checklists just to give to your team and having you guys complete blank checklists for us. Communication is always key in anything you do pretty much. So we want to be communicating and available to you all throughout the year, not just in the planning process, but really, we're auditing during certain points of the year, but you're having transactions that are occurring throughout the entire year. So we want to be available to you for you to ask those questions as you're incurring those transactions. That way we can help you make decisions if you need it, which really helps a more efficient audit process as well. I mentioned that we tailor our audit approach to you and we don't have you recreate the wheel. As Wade mentioned also, we have our managers and partners in the field to help make decisions during the audit process. The team out there, and then they come back to the office, and then we have to figure out if we identify a situation, we're doing it during the audit field work. That way we can make a decision and continue the audit process. We also our audit field work while it's fresh in the mind of our staff. We want to make sure that we're reviewing their work with all the quality assurance policies that we have in a timely manner. Ultimately, we're working towards we want to serve the council in providing that independent audit for you guys and also work with management to provide recommendations throughout the identify any areas where there are process improvements or things of that nature. James Moore also mentioned that they use SureLink. This is really a great web-based tool that you have. What I really like about it is it really benefits the clients that we have because it holds us accountable as well. As you guys upload information, it's all done in real time, so you can say, hey, we uploaded that information, and if a day or two goes by and you see we haven't downloaded it yet, you can say, that information's out there, why aren't you looking at it yet? So it really gives you the opportunity to hold us accountable. And again, that really helps with an efficient audit process. We do have tremendous staff retention, over 87% retention rate. That way, serve as your trusted advisors. The same team is likely coming out here on an annual basis and developing that relationship and helping with the familiarity with your city. We like to be responsive, as I mentioned, throughout the year. We're proactive in that dialogue as well. So if the audit's done in February or March, May, June comes around, we want to be touching base with you just to check in and see how things are coming. Because you're not always thinking, hey, let me reach out to the auditors. We'll be proactive in communicating with your team. Some of the things that we feel makes us different from a lot of other firms is the tremendous experience we have. As Wade mentioned, over 700 governmental entities, experience with large and small municipalities very similar to the city of Palm Coast here. Tremendous experience with the GFOA certificate program to help ensure that you guys seek and achieve that certificate on an annual basis. Experience with the bond market, remote auditing if need be. I didn't talk about this before, but our audit approach really is, again, based on your preference. When I started auditing, 3 weeks at a time, Monday to Friday. My wife didn't like it at the time. Nowadays, post-COVID, with all the technology that we have, the ability to perform hybrid audits or remote audits, really it's just a deference to your team's preference. We can be on site the entire time, we can be remote the entire time, or somewhere in between. We would work with management to determine what that might be. You mentioned our experience serving the government industry, a former Malden, the current former M&J partner. We're also members of the CPA Audit Quality Institute, which help CPA firms performing governmental audits and single audits their compliance, ensuring that they're performing efficient and effective audits as well. We also quarterly continuing education to our clients, information they need to make decisions as new GASB pronouncements come out, which they do come out quite frequently. I talked about the high-level manager and partner involvement, the quality of our professional staff, the continuity that we bring to the engagement, and then the dedication that we have to responsiveness and serving as a resource and your trusted advisor to help you in the city of Palm Coast. So we very much appreciate the opportunity to propose on your audit services, to be invited here to present some information about our firm to you, and certainly would appreciate your recommendation going forward.
All right, thank you, sir. Anyone on the council have any questions for this?
I just have one question. I know you talked about high level, but as far as your processes, anything that sets you all apart from different auditing firms?
I really think, very similar to them, and this is kind of awkward. We don't always sit in the same room. I think they did a great job. We all develop a risk-based approach. So the differences would be the experience that we have, bringing those fresh set of eyes. I don't have a great dad joke, sorry. But bringing those eyes, maybe our risk assessment would be a little bit different than their risk assessment, looking at different things throughout the audit process. As Wade mentioned, also with some of the county experience that we have, we do have a dedicated Florida governmental advisory team that would be available should you need us to look at anything outside the scope of the traditional audit services. Obviously, we would want to make sure that wouldn't do anything to our independence as your external auditors. An additional resource that we can bring to the city should it need be.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
Yes. As I asked the previous firm, you guys service with over 700 governmental entities as a firm. I see the list here of municipalities and that you serve here in the state of Florida and certainly in the Southeast. Have you guys come across any best practices with DOJ and with these municipalities as different councils or commissions have looked at trying to save taxpayer dollars through efficiencies?
Certainly, as the overall audit process, that is not the general goal. But if we recognize something that you all are doing that could be done more efficiently or effectively to save taxpayer dollars, we're absolutely going to tell you that. Again, like Daniel mentioned, we do have a separate advisory group that if you all were ever interested in bringing them in, that is what they do all day, every day for governments all across the country. Actually, that group is more of a national group. And they can do some amazing things. They think completely differently than I do, than these guys are. We're auditors. This is what we do. But those guys, they are always thinking of efficiency, how things can be run better. Do you have the right number of people? Are they sitting in the right seat? Different things that they can do. If something that you all would need or want, we would absolutely be able to bring those people in and help you with that process.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just for our attorney. Is it proper to have both groups stay for both presentations? I would think since they are competitors in this situation, it would have been better to have the room at the same time.
So yeah, normal practice is we'll have all the groups. You have to do it tonight, and you're not making any decisions tonight. You're going to take your thoughts back, and then you'll give direction to city council to staff later. Concerns, but it's a direction of the council how you want to see forward.
Good? Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to move on to presentation.
Mayor,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Mayor, public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's open up public comment real quick. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Johnson.
Hi, Leslie Johnson from the P section. I'm pretty sure y'all know that when your audits, my head picks up because I am an auditor as well, only I audit within the medical field. And currently I'm teaching all about how to pretty much do the right thing on paper so they don't end up in a bad place. I have also had the wonderful experience of working with OIG, Office of Inspector General, and the Department of Justice on a couple of interesting law cases. I've also been an expert on several occasions financial ends of the medical industry. So when I hear audits, my head picks up. My big question, and then clarification here, not to do anything else, but I'd really like to know about the scope of such audits for here. What are your plans? What exactly? Where's their direction? And again, how far are they going to go? I'm not sure if you know, but in our world, there are different types of audits. Some are minimal, some are extremely extensive. So I'm sure that as they're talking to you, they're formulating a plan in their mind as they go along on how they're going to approach these audits. But I'm curious to know what you as the council have in mind for the direction that these auditors will be doing. So I appreciate any kind of information on that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jeannie.